Hello, my name is Alan Fernandez, and today I will be discussing disease threats to human health and what three major diseases that seem to have been made normal or accepted as a part of life. And I will also be discussing my stance on vaccination of people, pets, and livestock, and whether I think it should be mandatory or not. So, to start off, disease threats to humans involve a wide spectrum of illnesses that can have a significant effect on individuals and society. Some major disease threats include infectious diseases. They are caused by pathogens like bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites, but also include chronic non communicable diseases, which are long term health conditions such as diabetes, cancer, and obesity. And another disease threat would be mental health disorders, which affect the well being and quality of life of an individual, which can include anxiety and depression. And in modern societies, the three major diseases that have been accepted as a part of life include the seasonal influenza. The flu is basically unavoidable every year, just like how the vaccine is always changing, it's always mutating. So it's kind of like a no-brainer that it would be on this list, just because I feel like everybody does catch the flu at some point every single year, and there's different strains of it. But another example would be allergies, which happen all the time and can have different triggers. It just depends on the individual. And degenerative conditions with aging that can include osteoarthritis, which is the tissue in the joints break down over time, and cognitive decline with aging. So with that goes on like how sometimes older people can be a little bit more confused or forgetful. That's kind of what it's including in there. And as far as my stance on the subject of whether vaccines should be mandatory or not, I personally believe that everyone and every living thing should get vaccinated due to the fact that vaccines save lives and allow for both humans and animals to build up immunity and prepare their bodies for any type of danger that may come their way. And not only do vaccines help with prevention, they also prevent outbreaks. And in terms of pets and livestock, vaccination works in the favor of animal welfare and their well being, but also preserving ecosystems by preventing the spread of diseases that may affect the food supply and preserving agricultural stability. As far as the subject of like vaccination, I kind of was trying to put like two and two together and think of like different ways and think of like, okay, so some people may say that vaccines shouldn't be mandatory and some do. So I kind of try to put myself in everybody's shoes and just see, okay, what are the pros and cons here? What are the pros and cons here? And I do remember that in 2018, there was a story of a famous tattoo artist by the name of Kat Von D. She decided to announce that she was not going to be vaccinating her unborn child that she was expecting. And I just think that this behavior opens up the door for one individual in the population to become vulnerable to diseases, but also puts others in danger, because if a disease has not been seen in such a long time, then there is a possibility that in the future this child will contract it and could possibly spread it to others and put their lives in danger. And I did want to go back a little bit to when I was giving the examples of like the different diseases that have become basically like a way of life. I wanted to add that COVID-19 is, I would think it would be one of those diseases that has kind of been made into just kind of accepting it, because I mean, we knew it was never going to go away after the pandemic, but I feel like now it's more manageable and more controllable. So yeah. And once again, I did discuss today the different disease threats to human health and what three major diseases have been basically seen as normal or accepted as a part of life. And I also did discuss my stance on whether vaccines should be mandatory or not. Thank you.